Good morning. Happy Thursday. As I sit here listening to my message and thinking about what I'm going to speak today about, it's just, a lot of thoughts are running around my head. Once again, I've got pages of my little napkin notes. Anyway, I have a routine every morning. So I get up and I get ready, and I have a certain, time that I do that. And then I go get my coffee, and then I always grab a handful of napkins because I'm horribly messy, and spill it while I'm driving. Because I overflow it, because I put sweet stuff in it so that it tastes like Starbucks, and it's really just not Starbucks. It's like this across the road cheap old coffee. But anyway, that's a rabbit hole. But the notes, the napkins, I just use them. I usually just read my notes over after I've written them, and then I talk to you. This morning, there's so many notes. I just not reading them over before I talk to you. I'm just going to try to recollect what the Holy Spirit puts on my heart to share with you this morning. I just posted on Facebook, my page, which is Karen Carter Smith, on Facebook, reclaiming your, I think it says reclaim your destiny. And it was a very powerful message. It's long, but so good. And I've always felt a very strong desire to help others rise. Even in teaching, I taught art, but it was never about the art. And I reflected as to being a teacher, what did I love about teaching? What did I love about art? I mean, I love art, but I don't love it to inspire others to become an artist. I mean, they will if they're good at it. They're going to, if I inspire them to participate, then they're going to, take more and more classes. And if I see their talent, then I can push them in the direction that they need to go. But the biggest thing that I came to a revelation about is that I use art to empower. To get you a sense of accomplishment, to feel a sense of pride, self-esteem. I can do this, and look what I can do, and look how pretty it is. But also just, wow, this is so fun. This is so freeing. This is so relaxing if I just don't get hung up on the rules and the comparisons and things like that. So, throughout my life, I've always used art, like I said, as therapeutic. And then, I reflect on the people in my life, and I reflect on, who God keeps bringing to me and to the studio. And, it's funny how He puts you in a place where sometimes He elevates you to a position that you can help others who are not as far along. But then many times He puts you in a place where you're with others who are farther along than you. So He surrounds you with people that can lift you to a higher level, walking a different walk than you, but inspiring you, encouraging you along the way. So the title, Reclaim Your Destiny, is you have a destiny. We all do. That's our purpose. And, I work in an alternative school, and I think, I have always in my classrooms, I mean, I love all kids. I mean, I think they're awesome. I love them all. And every kid is gifted and unique, and I see that, and I try to bring that out in each. But the ones that God just puts on my heart, just does not let me rest about, are the ones that are at a disadvantage. Even back when I was in high school, you know, my plan was never to be an art teacher. My plan was to first be a doctor, and then I wanted to be in the corporate world. And then, you know, teaching wasn't on my mind at all. Actually, my high school art teacher said, you know, I'm going to retire and I want you to come back and take my job. And I kind of like, no, I'm not going to be an art teacher, because teaching, in my opinion at that time, was not a high level successful place. And at that time in my life, I was buying into the success of the world, that you had to be a lawyer, doctor, or you really weren't anything, you know, of status, that you know, teachers didn't get paid a lot. And so it was always based on probably growing up of what materialistic things I could provide for myself and how much money I could make. But God had a different plan. You know, I always did art when I was growing up, and my parents provided me with crafts, and I remember rug hooking and painting by numbers and just drawing and painting as far back as kindergarten. But I was in college, and like I said, in my mind, I wanted to be a pediatric psychologist. I took Latin in high school. I was valedictorian. You know, I achieved as high as I could, and was really trying to be that perfect student, perfect person. So here I go to college. I go to Marshall because I'm too scared to go anywhere else. You know, my mother was kind of overprotective, and was scared that we would get hurt, and really didn't allow us to have a lot of opportunities. She was a good mom, and I was involved in activities, but as of like going away with friends out of town on vacations, or trip skiing, or anything like that, like I didn't participate in it, and I had this fear inside me that I couldn't. So I stayed home. I went to Marshall, which is a great school, by the way. It also, you know, Marshall Medical was good. So here I am in class, and I'm taking a sculpture class, because art, you know, hey, it was an elective, and I was good at it, and I loved it, and I thought, hey, I'll just take, you know, I'll take that easy A. Well, when we were in there, one of our first assignments was that we were going to carve stone, alabaster stone. Wow, that was a difficult process, and all of us and me, I cut myself, and I started bleeding, and other people started bleeding, and I got so sick to my stomach, and like I remember almost passing out. I might have passed out. I don't recall. It's been so many years ago. But I do recall the one thing that I took from that class is, you know, medicine's out of my mind. I can't do that. And then I started reflecting that, you know, my mom always took care of her mother and her sister. So like they were sick. And I remember as a child having to go to my grandma's house, and my mom was changing. She had cancer, and she had colon cancer, and she was changing, I think, a colostomy bag. And just my grandmother's house kind of smelled like an old home, a hospital. And I hated going to the hospitals, and I hated going to funerals. And it just, I don't know, the death seemed to be around me, or I felt that, and it just gave me the EBGBs. And so once again, the hospital is not a place to be if you can't deal with death, and you can't deal with smells, and you can't see blood. So, you know, I was thinking, what, God, what have you put on the inside of me that I'm passionate about? And the one thing that I recall is really taking up for kids who were different. And at that time, it wasn't behavioral kids, broken kids. It was kids who had disadvantages. So, you know, I said, okay, I'm gonna go be a special ed teacher, physically handicapped, mentally impaired, because I witnessed and intervened on kids that were being ugly to the kids who could not fight back. So I was an advocate as early as 16 in high school, taking up for kids that were being picked on. So I decided, okay, I'm going to go in education, and I'm going to do that. And so I go and I enroll for special ed. And once again, I'm taking an art class because you have to have EDF, I think 114, which is an art class, how to teach art, because in elementary, I think there aren't all elementary art teachers, and you have to also teach that. So I said, okay, so I'm going to do this. So I go enroll, change my major, and I have an art teacher that comes to me, and she happens to be over the dean at that time. I think I don't know what you call that, the person over the department, the chairperson maybe. She said, Karen, what is your major? And I said, funny, I just changed my major at specially handicapped, mentally impaired. And she's like, oh no, get your things right now. Pick up your stuff. If you're going to be in education, you're going to be an art teacher. And I was like, art to me always was like a craft, but my fun. It was never like my job. I don't know why I just didn't put the two together, because my high school teacher was telling me he wanted me to take his place, and I was like, no. So there was signs along the path. I didn't always recognize the signs, but that day, and I remember not really trusting people and not listening to them, but I did. I picked up my stuff. I went to the Brasur, whatever that office is called, and I changed my major yet again. So, and I haven't looked back. I changed my major, and I got a job right out of school. And my first real full-time job, guys, this is how God works. It was for my high school teacher. I came back age 21 and took my high school job back, my teacher. And what was so funny is my principal when I was school was also my principal when I worked. And the kids that were in 9th grade were then in 12th grade, whom I had or talked to in school. It was crazy because I graduated early. I took summer school. I also went to college in high school. Once again, I was that workaholic, overachiever, trying to be perfect, trying to make a name for myself, stand out, do everything, wear myself out, or, just trying to achieve society standards, and feeling that hole and that gap of unworthiness inside of me. So, so I graduate with an art job. I work at the high school, and then I work at, and I start moving around to a lot of schools, always feeling like this, I always need like challenges and in my life, like I'm always needing goals to reach, and then when I reach them, I set another goal. And sometimes and I enjoy different faces, different places. Change has always been awesome for me. And so luckily as an educator, you can bid on different jobs. And so I never quit teaching, but I did move around a lot. I did not stay in a place for various reasons. Looking back, I know why now. But all of those places serve purposes. I met different people during those places. I was challenged with different things. And so here I am, 31 years later, going on my 32nd year in the field of education. And I finally feel like I'm walking in purpose. I feel like God has taken all of those experiences, all of that, and I'm now at a place where not that he couldn't use me all along, all those other things, but the lessons that he has taught me throughout my journey, and the wisdom I have gained, I'm able to share to those that are at a level, at a point where they're really needing change. And if they don't change, it determines the destiny of their life. So I plant seeds all day long. That's really all I can do. I can't save any one child. I can show them God's love. I can be his hands. I can be his feet. And I just speak love and truth to them, and just pray over them at home, and in our prayer group at school, that he will reap the harvest. We may never know or see the fruits of the seeds that we planted, but we just got to keep planting and believing. And so I'm able to take kids who have great personalities, who have huge hearts, but they just have not been given opportunities and chances and anything, like the socioeconomic status in which they're in, or the environment is just where they are and all they know and all they've learned. And so I pray that I can just be a small change agent, that something said or done can be just planted there and help make changes in their life, because it does take change to create change. And many of us, I know for me, for years I just wished it was like a genie in a bottle. God, just please help me get out of this, or please take this away, or please help me not to do this, and really not taking the steps to reclaim what he's given me. And this message is not going the way that the message was. It was more of, I wanted to talk more of reclaiming what you've lost. But I guess that'll be part 2, maybe tomorrow, maybe later today, because I don't like to make these videos long. People don't have time in their lives. I sit and I can sit for hours and listen to a video, and that's fine, because I've intentionally done that in my plan. But for the most part, people are running around with their heads cut off and just trying to do the next and staying so busy. So I'm trying to make these videos shorter with a little bit of content in them, and so maybe a seed that you can take from it. I think, the thing that I see about this message is just knowing, by reflecting on my own life, that all along God used it all. Nothing was wasted. All things worked together. It brought me to a place, and he was in my story all along. He was, he has ordered our steps, and I veered off that, but he was always there, and he brought me back around. It took me longer because I didn't, but even that, his timing, his way, and he will bring that plan into completion. So I have one more year at this job until the government, the funding's over. I'm not sure what's going to happen, but I do know that God is in my story. He's written it. He's gone ahead of it. And no matter what happens, I'm okay with that. Today, I feel finally I'm walking in purpose, and I'm excited for each day to get up, even when I'm tired. Like today, once again, I'm tired. Couldn't sleep. But it's like I have this hope. And it's like, oh, you get up. You get to do this today. You get to do what you're passionate about. You get to do what your heart really is designed to do. And that's to empower. It's like to see someone, a spark in their eye light up, a smile on their face where they were once crying, like an eye-opening experience. And guys, there is nothing greater than being a part of someone's life where they have felt so hopeless, and God using you to be just a small part of the plan is just so amazing. It's like no money can take that place. And so I pray today that you allow God to unravel your story, that you reclaim what you lost, that it's never too late to get back to him. It's never too late to start. So if you've not been on God's path for you, or if you were on it and you got sidetracked, you can get back on it. So I just want you to know that it's never too late. You're never too old, and God's not done with you. You may think he is, but he's not. And I pray that people will come surround you, and that you will get a revelation of who you are in Him, and that you will allow Him to mend that brokenness and let Him just help you grow and rise. And I have this thing, Butterfly Evolve. Sarah has this thing, Women Evolve. Similar, same concept. Butterfly, because you were once a caterpillar, but a friend of mine said butterfly emerge. And so today's word for you is butterfly emerge. You emerge. Go, just go. Take the choice, take the step, do it today, do it now. Don't wait. Today's your day. So happy Thursday, and I hope it's a great day. Thanks.